Oh, yes. Yes. There we go. All right. Welcome back. We're talking about all the books that I've read so far this year and telling you if you need to read them. Or wait, how does this work? And telling you if you should read them with a yes, no, or maybe. I have read 22 books so far in 2024. My goal is 50, so I feel like, what does it say? I am 2 books behind schedule. So first we've got Glint from the Plated Prisoner series. I believe this is book 2. Maybe. I had a fun time reading it, but I could not tell you what I read. I rated it a 3 stars, so it had to have, maybe. Then we have Don't You Dare. Yes. I rated this a 4 star. It was very, very close to being a 5-star read. I still remember details about this book. It was so good. It was a lot of fun. This was like a college romance. It was a sports romance too. I believe they were both in sport. Oh, okay, you know what? I just said that I remember details about this book, but I literally can't remember if both of them were on a sports team or... All I know is it's a yes, and I rated it 4 stars. And both of those books I read on my Kindle. Then we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is a yes, right? I gotta look at my notes. This is a yes. It was such a highly, highly recommended book on Book Talk for the longest time. And I believe that it is worth it. Yes, you should read this book. But is it a little overhyped? But yes, I would still recommend it. I gave it a 4 stars, so very good. And I'm excited for the next book. Next up is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. Yes, 4 star. This was such a fun thriller to read. I read this, I think, in like 3 days, which for me is very good because it usually takes me a whole month to read one book. Just watch my 24-hour readathon. We have our main character, Emma, who is, I think, house sitting. While she's house sitting, she reads a book and gives it a really low rating, I believe a 1-star rating, and the author starts messaging her and basically harassing her, and the story just gets weirder and more intense. I have to say, like, I loved the characters, but the dog in this book, I swear to God, I was like, ride or die for this dog. I was like, if something happens, dog, I swear it's over, it's done. You'll have to read it and find out. 100% yes, highly recommend. The next book was The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. They're not into it. No. I was so bored reading this, and I just was kind of confused too. I read half of this in audiobook form, so I feel like that's probably why I didn't like it as much. Nah, I was bored. I didn't feel anything between the characters at all. What this book did very well at was kind of describing grief and kind of going through the motions of grief. Loved the book for that, but for the romance, no. Then I read When in Rome. Maybe. Like, if you just want a really quick, small town kinda-ish romance, then yeah, I say pick this up. But I've never thought of it since. It was cute. It was fast. It was fun. I listened to it on Audible, or I listened to the audiobook, and yeah, I liked it. So, like, maybe. No. Listen. I just went into like this huge rant with one of my best friends about this book. This is an absolute no. Honestly, at this point, the whole Crescent series, the Crescent City series, no. I don't want it. I don't want it. I only read this book because I know it's probably going to play a huge role in the next ACOTAR book, but I swear to God, Sarah Janet, I hated every second of it. I was so bored, could not stand any of the characters, quite frankly. If I could give this a 0 star, I would. But I'm only giving it 1 star. Actually, I don't even know why. Leave it at that. No. Then we have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Yes, I really, really enjoyed this. The only other Ali Hazelwood book that I've read is Love Hypothesis. And I know so many people are on Allie Hazelwood kick. There are some die-hard Allie Hazelwood fans who read every single book that she comes out with. Me, I'm not like really into strictly romance books, so I was kind of like, like whatever. Like I like fantasy romance, you know? Bride was a lot of fun. It's a supernatural, is that what you would call this? Like a paranormal romance. That's what I'm looking for. It's a vampire werewolf marriage of convenience, enemies to lovers. It's a lot of fun. Allie Hazelwood's writing is also just so easy to read, and she sucks you into a story so fast that it's just like nothing else. Like I read this very fast. I did give this a 4-star. Then I read Gleam, which is the 3rd book in the Plated Prisoners series or whatever that's called. Again, maybe. Like, this isn't really a series for me, but I feel like it's a series for a lot of other people. So if you're into, I believe this is a Midas retelling or like loose retelling of the story about King Midas. I don't freaking know. Very interesting, has a really cool magic system. The romance is slow burn. She is a very tortured character though, so trigger warnings, I would definitely search up trigger warnings before going in and starting this series. But I think the author does a really good job at giving trigger warnings and like telling her readers what to expect. Maybe, you know? Didn't really like the 1st book. I liked the 2nd book. I enjoyed the 3rd book a little bit more than the 2nd book, but I'm not in a rush to continue this series, so that's why I'm saying maybe. Then I read Trial of the Sun Queen, and this is a no for me. A lot of people recommended me this series, and I don't know. After reading the 1st book, I felt like I still wasn't really connecting with the characters, so I just didn't continue. So this is a no for me. It gave very little. And it's also very predictable, so I feel like I know what happens in the entire series. I believe there's like 3 books right now, and I feel like I know the story. Like I know how it ends. It's kind of predictable. Like she lays it all out basically in the 1st book. It was an enjoyable read, but would I recommend it? No. But then I read Finley Donnelly is Killing It, I believe is the 1st book. Maybe. The reason I say maybe is because it was kind of forgettable. But if you want a cozy mystery, cozy thriller, then this book is perfect. It's just like a fun, cozy little, not so lighthearted mystery thriller, but at the same time, the author makes it very, very fast-paced, funny, comedic, relief type of stuff. A lot of like just miscommunication tropes all around the board. Then yes, I would recommend it, but this is like a maybe for me. Does that make sense? I just like totally. Then, oh, why is this sticky? It's heavy. God, I didn't realize how heavy this book was before. This has got some weight to it. You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. This was a fun time. Yes. It was kind of predictable, but at the same time it was like she wrote in a way that was like, man, I really don't want this to happen, but I think it's gonna happen. I just thought it was a lot of fun. The plot twist at the end, kind of out there, but at the same time I had a lot of fun reading it and kind of going along with the story and making my own predictions. So yes, I would recommend. Like I said, it was just a lot of fun. I don't know, and it was really quick. It was just a quick, fun suspense thriller, and it did scare me. It scared me. It's the type of like I choose the bear type of vibes, you know? Then I read The Favor. I can't remember who this was by. I was watching one of Larry Can Read. She was reading this and she said that it was really good, and I believe she rated it 5 stars, so I picked it up on Kindle. This is definitely a maybe. Again, it was just like a romance book. I say normally I don't read a lot of romance books, but clearly it was a good time. This book actually didn't leave me frustrated in any way, so. Oh, then I read Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I'm sorry, whatever Elsie puts in her books, 5-star read, yes, 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 highly recommend. I am excited about this series. I think she started off perfect. I freaking love the characters, and then we get a little cameo from a character in Chestnut Springs. It's so good. This is her first book in her new series, which is called Rose Hill. Rose Hill series, yes. And this is actually follows Willa's brother. Is it Willa? This is billionaire, single dad, and the way his single dad... You guys, it's just a yes. You need to read this. She starts working for him, so it's boss employee. Kind of forbidden love because it is best friend's sister. And every book in this series is going to be single dad, so I'm very curious in the ways that she kind of interprets that, because in this book, I was like, oh, that's how he's a single dad. You just have to read it to understand. And I feel like a lot of people have read this book because it is very popular. Elsie Silvers is a genius. Yes, 5-star read. I think this was the first 5-star read of the year too, so. Then we read The Reappearance of Rachel Price. This is maybe. I rated this with 4 stars. This is a YA thriller. She's also obviously the author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I think the show just came out, and 5 Survive. Did not like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Read the first book, didn't finish the series. Read 5 Survive, really enjoyed that. This book I also really enjoyed. It kind of gave me the same feeling as 5 Survive. These 2 books were very, very slow, but I was entertained the entire time. I know a lot of people don't like this book because of how slow it was and they didn't feel like the ending kind of paid off, but I really enjoyed it. I was hooked the entire time, so yeah, maybe. If you're into like YA thrillers and mysteries and you like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, this is about, and I think I also just really like this because it's about this young girl who her mom went missing when she was very, very young. So whatever amount of years later, a documentary crew comes in and kind of wants to do a documentary on the disappearance of Rachel Price. And as they're filming it, who appears? Rachel Price. So then it just becomes like the reappearance of Rachel Price, and everyone's kind of trying to understand what happened, where she went, what happened to her, why is she back. Very, very interesting. I was suspicious of everybody in this story, and the ending is a little out there and is a little bizarre, but I think that's what made it fun. I read Say You Swear, and I'm gonna say maybe. This story was everywhere. Didn't really have a straight line, just kind of was curving around and swerving wherever I wanted to, but I was here for it. It was a fun, just like not too much thought, kind of stupid read that I enjoyed. Very entertaining, not very good writing. Ignite me. No. Honestly, I feel like at this point I should just give up on the series because what was this book? This is YA. This is dystopian, sci-fi, whatever you want to call it. Kenji is like my favorite character. I thought it was going to be Aaron or Warner, whatever. But no, Kenji stole this entire... I felt like Kenji the entire time throughout the series so far has just been the only one that's, you know, kind of been smart. The rest of them, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Children. Literal children. I feel like that's probably why I need to stop reading this. This is a no for me. No. Then I read Spark of the Everflame. Yes, I do recommend this. I only recommend this because I feel like you have to continue on with the series. Yes, it was very good. I felt like it did a very, very good job at world building and building up our main character and kind of just like growing up with her and kind of realizing things with her. So yes, I do recommend this, but just wait. Then I read Wildfire. This was the one book that I read in my 24-hour reading challenge, so whatever. This is a maybe. This is a 3-star for me. It was a very, very cute summer read. I only recommend this during the summertime because it takes place at a summer camp. The only thing I have about this book is that I just didn't feel like there was enough drama. You know, we were just kind of going through camp. We were literally just going through camp. It was a slow burn, but it wasn't a very good slow burn, I feel like. Loved Russ though. Little sweetheart. Oh, sweetheart Russ. everyone protect him at all costs. And that's all I have to say about this. So this is a maybe. Summer romance read? Maybe. Okay, now we get into Glow of the Everflame, and this is a 5-star. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Everything that was being built up in the first book paid off in the second book. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Highly recommend. Luther is everything. The banter between the two characters, there are MMC and our FMC. Top tier. Chef's kisses. It was glorious. Listen, I don't even know where to start to explain what this book is about. You kind of just have to know that it's a romantasy. In the second book, we get introduced to so many new characters, and I fell in love with these new characters so much. Found family is a huge part of this book, and that's like one of my favorite tropes. Found family is just amazing. So yes, highly, highly recommend. This was another 5-star read for me. Then I read Heartless Hunter. It's a maybe. For me, I don't really like witchy stories. I don't really, they're just not my vibe, you know? It was in the Regency era, so you just imagine all, like Bridgerton, but witches. And witch hunters that, yeah. So it's a maybe. If you're into like that kind of stuff, then yes. If you're not, maybe. Like, I feel like it's still worth a read because I felt like it was still very entertaining. The ending was insane. Yeah, for me, it's a maybe. And then, of course, the novella, Powerful. If you read Powerless, yes, you need to read Powerful. Not for the next book, just for pain. If I could give a novella 5 stars, this would be a 5 stars. Adina's story and Mac. It's just so heartbreakingly beautiful. Those were my reads so far of 2024, and if I would recommend them to you with a yes, no, or maybe, I'm currently reading Heat of the Everflame, 3rd book in the Kindred saga. Loving it. Reading Till Death by Miranda Lynn. This has become my new obsession, especially because I'm listening to it in the audiobook. So good. So good. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you got some book recommendations, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!